All right, so today we're going to really do a deep dive into large language models and specifically their reasoning capabilities.
Okay.
You know, like how they're figuring things out,
Yeah.
connecting the dots, all that kind of stuff. And our source material is a research paper
Okay.
from DeepSeek AI
All right.
about their brand new model, DeepSeek R1.
Cool.
And this is it's actually being presented at the AM conference in 2024,
Oh, wow.
which is all about using AI for math education.
Okay.
So, you know, it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah, very cool.
And one of the most exciting things about this is how they actually trained DeepSeek R1.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Instead of just, you know, like force feeding it tons of data,
Yeah.
they use reinforcement learning, which is a total game changer.
It is a huge development in the world of AI.
Yeah. So, like, what does that even look like?
It's kind of like if you were solving a puzzle,
Okay.
and instead of showing the model the picture on the box,
Right.
you just tell it like warmer or colder as it's trying different pieces.
Uh-huh.
Eventually, it figures out how to put the puzzle together all on its own.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And they actually made two different versions of this model.
They did.
One called DeepSeek R10 and the other just DeepSeek R1.
Uh-huh.
So what's the difference?
So DeepSeek R10 is the one that learned purely through reinforcement learning.
Okay.
So no peeking at the picture beforehand.
Oh, wow.
This really shows how powerful this learning method can be,
Yeah.
especially for developing those reasoning skills.
So it's like the self-taught prodigy.
Exactly.
What about just DeepSeek R1 then?
So they gave it a tiny little head start.
Okay.
A little bit of what they call cold start data.
All right.
And this helps smooth out some of its rough edges in terms of like communication and presentation.
Okay.
Because DeepSeek R10 is brilliant,
Right.
but sometimes it like mixes languages or lacks that clear formatting.
Because they give a little polish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little bit of etiquette training for this AI genius.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's this one part in the paper that I thought was really interesting.
What's that?
It sounds like DeepSeek R10 actually had like an aha moment
Oh, yeah.
while it was working on a problem.
So cool.
Like a light bulb went off.
It is one of the coolest parts of this research. They
Right.
describe it in the paper as saying, wait, that's an aha moment.
Right.
I can flag here. Let's reevaluate this step by step.
Wait, the model actually said that?
Yeah,
That's wild.
it is.
So, like, what's going on there?
So that's the beauty of what they call test time compute,
Okay.
which is another really key concept in this paper.
Right.
Basically, it means that the model has learned to spend more time thinking through those really difficult problems.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not limited by like a set number of steps.
Right.
It can keep going until it feels really confident in its solution.
Wow.
And that's what led to that aha moment.
So it's not just speed.
Right.
It's like the depth of thought
Exactly. It's the
that
brain.
matters. That's amazing.
Yeah. And that aha moment wasn't just like a fluke.
Right.
This ability to pause and reassess and even change course.
Yeah.
That's a key part of DeepSeek R10's whole problem-solving process.
It's like it's developing its own way of thinking.
And it really is.
That's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing, and it's making everybody in the field rethink how we approach AI development.
Yeah.
You know, we've always focused on feeding these models massive data sets.
Right.
But this research suggests that maybe there's another path to intelligence.
So instead of force-feeding information, we're giving these models tools to learn on their own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's massive. And not just for the models themselves,
Yeah.
but for the future of AI development in general.
Okay.
Think about the resources it takes to train these massive models on gigantic data sets.
Right.
It's a huge barrier to entry for a lot of researchers.
So you're saying with reinforcement learning,
Yeah.
smaller teams could potentially
Exactly.
make breakthroughs. Yeah, it levels the playing field, and it could lead to a much more diverse range of AI models and applications.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's not even just about research either.
Okay.
Imagine the impact this could have on fields like education.
Like AI tutors
Exactly.
that can adapt to each student's learning style.
Precisely, an AI tutor powered by a model like this could provide truly personalized feedback,
Wow.
identify areas where a student is struggling,
Mm-hmm.
and even like generate new problems to challenge them further.
So it's like having a personal Socrates
Yes,
guiding you through like the world of knowledge.
I love that analogy.
Okay, so we've talked about how powerful this model is,
Yes.
but how well did it actually perform?
Well, on standardized benchmarks, like AIMA for math,
Okay.
and Code Forces for coding, DeepSeek R1 achieved some remarkable results.
Like what?
It even outperforms some of the lighting models from OpenAI.
Wow. Outperforming OpenAI.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal.
It is a big deal. They've been the front runners in this field for a while. So it's a real testament to the potential of this new approach to training.
Absolutely. And you know what? I just remembered.
What's that?
We were talking about how DeepSeek created a smaller version of the model.
Right.
The one with a little bit of cold start data. They found that distilling knowledge
Yes.
from the larger DeepSeek R1 into this smaller model was more effective
It was.
than training it directly
Much more.
with reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
Hold on. Distilling knowledge.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
So think of it like taking the essence of a complex recipe from a master chef
Okay.
and creating like a simplified version that a home cook could follow. You're capturing the core knowledge and techniques
Gotcha.
without all the intricate details.
So they basically transferred the expertise
Exactly.
of the larger model
Yeah.
into a more compact package.
That's a great way to put it.
And what's interesting is that even though these smaller models are less complex,
Yes.
they retained a lot of the capabilities
Victim.
of that larger model.
Which is fascinating.
This could be huge for making these powerful AI capabilities accessible
Absolutely.
on everyday devices.
Exactly. Imagine having an AI assistant on your phone
Right?
that can help you solve complex problems,
Wow.
learn new skills, even generate creative content,
Yeah.
all without needing to connect to the cloud
Right.
or rely on massive computing power.
That's a future I can get behind.
Me too.
But before we get too carried away,
Okay.
dreaming about our AI-powered smartphones,
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the limitations of DeepSeek R1.
Sure.
Because no model is perfect.
Right. Of course not. And the researchers were upfront about where it still needs improvement.
Okay, so what are some of the things?
One thing they highlighted was its sensitivity to prompts.
Okay.
So even small changes in how a problem is phrased can sometimes lead to big differences in performance.
So it's not quite as flexible as a human
Yeah.
when it comes to understanding language.
Right. But that's a challenge that a lot of researchers are working on.
Okay.
And there's also the issue of language mixing. DeepSeek R1 sometimes struggled with prompts that contain multiple languages.
That makes sense. I mean, the nuances of language are tricky.
They are, even for us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of the things that makes developing truly intelligent AI so challenging.
Well, it sounds like DeepSeek R1 is a major step forward in the field of AI.
For sure.
Even with those limitations.
Definitely.
I mean, it's incredible to think about how far this technology has come.
It really is amazing.
What stood out to you the most?
For me, it was that aha moment.
Yeah.
It really highlighted the fact that we're just scratching the surface of understanding how artificial intelligence actually works.
Right.
That moment of insight, that ability to pause and rethink, that wasn't something that they programmed into the model.
Right.
It emerged organically through that process of reinforcement learning.
So like DeepSeek R10 is developing its own unique way of thinking.
It seems like it.
That's incredible.
It is, and it's what makes this research so exciting.
Yeah.
We're not just building machines,
Right.
We're potentially creating new forms of intelligence.
It really makes you wonder what the future holds.
It does.
For AI.
Yeah.
I mean, if these models can learn to reason this well on their own, what does that mean for us humans?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right.
But I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Okay.
Just like a calculator didn't replace mathematicians.
Right.
LLMs won't replace human thinkers.
So instead of fearing AI, we should be looking at how we can use it
exactly
to enhance our own capabilities.
Like, imagine collaborating with these AI systems to solve complex problems, come up with innovative solutions, really push the boundaries of human knowledge.
It's like having a super-powered brainstorming partner.
I like that.
So what are some of the real-world applications?
Well, we've already talked about personalized education.
Right, like AI tutors.
Yeah, but think about fields like medicine,
Right.
where AI could help doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately.
That would be incredible.
It would, or in scientific research, where AI could help us analyze these massive data sets and make groundbreaking discoveries.
Those are some pretty amazing possibilities.
They are.
But with any powerful tool, there's always concerns about how it could be misused.
You're absolutely right. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications and make sure that these technologies are developed and used responsibly.
So it's not just about the technical advancements.
No.
It's also about having these conversations.
Exactly.
About the impact of AI.
Yes. We need to make sure that AI benefits all of humanity.
Yeah.
And doesn't exacerbate existing inequalities.
That's a really good point.
It's crucial.
And you know what?
What?
DeepSeek R1's success with reinforcement learning, it kind of highlights the importance of continuous learning.
It does.
Not just for machines.
Right.
For us humans, too.
Absolutely. In today's world, adaptability and the ability to constantly learn and evolve are essential.
So maybe instead of being intimidated by AI, we should be inspired by it.
Exactly. By observing how these models learn and adapt.
Right.
We might even discover new ways to enhance our own learning.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's like AI is holding up a mirror, reflecting back both the possibilities and the challenges.
I like that a lot.
Of this new era of intelligence.
For sure.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the technical details of DeepSeek R1 to like these broader questions about the future of AI.
And humanity.
Any final thoughts?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the future of AI is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's up to us to shape it.
Right.
By engaging in these discussions, asking tough questions, and ensuring that AI is developed ethically and responsibly, we can create a future where this technology really empowers us all.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to surface.
Okay.
From this deep dive. But the exploration doesn't end here.
It never does.
Keep those minds curious.
I will.
And join us next time as we continue to explore.
Looking forward to it.
This fascinating world of knowledge and ideas.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's developing its own way of thinking.
It really is.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and it's making everyone in the field, kind of rethink how we approach AI development. We've always been so focused on feeding these models, these massive data sets.
Right, like just shoving information in.
Exactly, but this research suggests that maybe there's another path to intelligence.
So instead of force-feeding information, we're giving them the tools to learn on their own.
Exactly, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Not just for the models themselves, but for like the future of AI development.
Okay, how?
Well, just think about all the resources that it takes to train these massive models on these gigantic data sets.
Yeah, it's a ton.
It's a huge barrier to entry for a lot of researchers.
So you're saying that with reinforcement learning, smaller teams with fewer resources could potentially make these big breakthroughs.
Yeah, it levels the playing field.
Wow.
And it could lead to a much more diverse range of AI models and applications.
That's really cool.
And it's not even just about research. I mean, imagine the impact that this could have on fields like education.
Like with AI tutors.
Exactly.
That could adapt to each student and their individual learning style.
Precisely. An AI tutor powered by a model like this could provide truly personalized feedback.
That's awesome.
It could identify the areas where a student is struggling.
Right.
And even generate new problems to challenge them further.
It's like having your own personal Socrates.
I love that.
Guiding you through the world of knowledge.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about how powerful this model is.
Yeah.
But how well did it actually perform?
Well, on standardized benchmarks like AME for math.
Okay.
And Code Forces for coding, DeepSeek R1 got some pretty remarkable results.
Like what kind of results?
It even outperformed some of the leading models from OpenAI.
No way it outperformed OpenAI.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They've been like the front runners.
I know.
For such a long time.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's a real testament to how powerful this new approach to training is.
Absolutely. And you know what I just remembered?
What?
We were talking earlier about DeepSeek creating a smaller version of the model.
Yeah.
The one with a little bit of cold start data. Well, they discovered that distilling the knowledge from that larger DeepSeek R1 into the smaller one was actually more effective.
It was.
Than just training the smaller one.
Yeah.
Directly with reinforcement learning.
Much more effective.
Okay, hold on. Distilling knowledge. Yeah. What does that even mean in this context?
Think of it like taking the essence of a really complex recipe from a master chef, and you're creating like a simplified version that a home cook could follow.
Okay.
So you're capturing that core knowledge and the techniques without all of the like intricate details.
So they're basically transferring the expertise
exactly
from the big model
yeah.
into a more compact package.
That's a great way to put it.
And what's so fascinating is that even though the smaller models are less complex, they kept a lot of the reasoning abilities
It did.
of that larger DeepSeek R1.
It's wild.
This could be huge.
Good.
For making these powerful AI capabilities
Yeah.
accessible on everyday devices.
Exactly. Like, imagine having an AI assistant on your phone.
Right.
That could help you solve complex problems.
Wow.
Learn new skills.
Yeah.
Even generate creative content.
That would be incredible.
All without needing to be connected to the cloud or rely on massive computing power.
That's a future I can definitely get behind.
Me too.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
Dreaming about our AI-powered smartphones.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the limitations of DeepSeek R1.
Sure.
Because no model is perfect.
Of course not. And the researchers were very upfront about the areas where DeepSeek R1 still needs improvement.
Okay, so what are some of those areas?
Well, one thing they highlighted was the model's sensitivity to prompts.
Okay.
So even small changes in how a problem is phrased can sometimes lead to big differences in performance.
So it's not quite as flexible as a human mind when it comes to understanding language.
Exactly. But that's something that a lot of researchers are working on. Okay. And then there's also the issue of language mixing. DeepSeek R1 sometimes struggled with prompts that contain multiple languages.
I mean, that makes sense.
It does.
Language is so nuanced and tricky.
It is, even for us humans.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of the things that makes developing truly intelligent AI so challenging.
Well, it sounds like DeepSeek R1 is a major step forward.
It is.
Even with those limitations.
Yeah, for sure.
It's incredible to think about how far this technology has come.
It's really amazing.
I mean, it makes you wonder, what does the future hold for AI?
It does.
If these models can learn to reason this well on their own, what does that mean for us?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
But, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool. Just like a calculator didn't replace mathematicians. Right. LLMs aren't going to replace human thinkers.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we should be looking at how we can use it to enhance our own capabilities.
Exactly. Like, imagine collaborating with AI. To solve these complex problems, come up with innovative solutions, push the boundaries of human knowledge even further.
It's like having a superpowered brainstorming partner. So what are some of the real-world applications you see?
Well, we've already talked about personalized education.
Right, with the AI tutors.
Yeah, but think about fields like medicine.
Okay.
Where AI could assist doctors in diagnosing diseases earlier and more accurately.
Wow. That would be incredible.
It would, or in scientific research, where AI could help us analyze these massive data sets and potentially make groundbreaking discoveries.
Yeah, those are some pretty amazing possibilities.
They are.
But with any powerful tool, there are always concerns.
Of course.
About how it might be misused.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications and make sure that these technologies are being developed and used responsibly.
So it's not just about the technical advancements.
No.
It's also about having these conversations.
Exactly.
And an impact.
Yeah, the potential impact.
Of AI on society.
We need to make sure that AI benefits all of humanity.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't exacerbate existing inequalities.
That's a really crucial point.
It is.
And you know what else I was thinking?
What's that?
DeepSeek R1's success with reinforcement learning really highlights the importance of continuous learning.
Yes. It does.
Not just for machines, but for us humans as well.
Absolutely. In today's world, adaptability and the ability to constantly learn and evolve are essential.
So maybe instead of being intimidated by AI, we should be inspired by it.
Exactly. Like by observing how these models learn and adapt, we might discover new ways to enhance our own learning and problem solving.
That's like AI is holding up a mirror, reflecting back both the possibilities and the challenges of this new era of intelligence.
For sure.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
In this deep dive from, the technical details of DeepSeek R1 to these broader questions about the future of AI and humanity.
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts?
I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is that the future of AI is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's up to all of us to shape it.
Right.
By engaging in these discussions, asking those tough questions, and ensuring that AI is developed ethically and responsibly, we can create a future where this technology empowers us all.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to surface from this deep dive. But remember, the exploration doesn't end here, so keep those minds curious and join us next time as we continue to explore this amazing world of knowledge and ideas.